In the knowledge of the holy, A.W. Tozer says, God knows instantly and effortlessly all matter and all matters, all mind and every mind, all spirit and all spirits, all being and every being, all creaturehood and all creatures, every plurality and all pluralities, all law and every law, all relations, all causes, all thoughts, all mysteries, all enigmas, all feelings, all desires, every unuttered secret God knows. He knows all thrones and dominions, all personalities, all things visible and invisible, in heaven and in earth, motion, space, time, life, death, good, evil, heaven and hell. God knows everything. And because God knows everything, he knows all things perfectly. He knows no thing better than any other thing, but all things he knows equally well. God never discovers anything. He is never surprised. He is never amazed. He never wonders about anything, nor, except when drawing men out for their own good, does he seek information or ask questions. God knows everything. I'm thankful that you took time today to pull up a seat. I hope these few minutes together help you follow Jesus better by deepening your relationship with him and helping you live intentionally for him every day. In this series of Pull Up a Seat, we've been looking at stuff about God to help us get a better understanding of who he is and what he does, so that we can worship him and follow Jesus better. We have looked at the truths that God is holy, the truth that God is love, that God is all powerful, and the truth that God is everywhere. If you haven't listened to those, check those out. Go back and listen to episodes 24 through 28. In this episode, we're going to dig into the truth that God knows everything. Our finite minds and our limited experience cannot fully grasp this. We can't truly understand this. But the truth is, there is nothing that the God of the Bible does not know. The big theological word for this is omniscient. God knows everything. His knowledge is unlimited, it is comprehensive, and it is perfect. God's knowledge is unlimited. He knows all state of affairs, actual and potential. He knows what has happened. He knows what will happen, and he knows what could have happened. Proverbs chapter 33, Psalm 33, verses 13 through 15 says, "The Lord looks down from heaven. He sees all the children of man from where he sits. Enthroned, he looks out on all the inhabitants of the earth. He who fastens the hearts of them all and observes all their deeds." So right now in the world, God knows everything that is happening on the planet right now. He also knows everything that has happened. In Job 38, verses 4 and 5, God answers Job in the middle of the struggle by asking Job a couple of questions. "Where were you, Job, when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. Who determines its measurements? Surely you know, Job." God was at the beginning of the world, so he knows all things that has happened in all of history past. God knows everything before it will happen. Listen to what the psalmist says in the 139th Psalm, verses 4 and 6. "Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You hem me in, behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it." The psalmist helps us to see that God knows everything even before it happens. Not only does God know everything that is happening, everything that has happened, everything that will happen, he also knows everything that could happen. Listen to what Isaiah says in chapter 46, verses 8 through 10. "Remember this and stand firm. Recall it to mind, you transgressors. Remember the former things of old, for I am God and there is no other. I am God and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times things not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will accomplish all my purpose. Scholars interpret this passage to say that no matter what choices man makes, God still knows, and therefore his plan and his will is not and cannot be messed up. God knows everything. God's knowledge is also comprehensive. He knows all aspects of all things of all time thoroughly and completely. His knowledge covers everything. Remember taking that comprehensive final in college? You had to know everything from day one, all lectures, all reading assignments. You had to know it all. You had to know everything. The good news is that God knows it all. His knowledge is comprehensive. God's knowledge is also perfect. His knowledge, like himself, is free from evil and completely good. There is nothing missing from what he knows. He knows all things perfectly and intimately. He knows himself as the Trinity perfectly. God knows his creation completely. God knows you perfectly and everything about you. God knows everything. There's not a moment of existence that is not on God's mind. That blows my mind. Because God knows everything, he does not have to learn, and he does not have to be reminded. He does not forget. God is not caught off guard. God, because he knows everything, knows what is best. So how does this affect your life and my life today? In a big way, every day, God can be trusted. The question is are we going to obey? Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make straight your paths. He knows more than you do. He knows what is going to happen, so you can trust him with every aspect of your life. The best way to trust him is to obey him and his ways. Psalm 139 gives us some other things, gives us another thing to help us apply the fact that God knows everything. He knows everything about you. So you can honestly go before him with all your stuff and with all your baggage. You can pray, search me. The fact that God knows everything should affect all areas of your life because he knows all the possible outcomes and what is best should make it easy for you and for me to follow him and to worship him. I pray that all of us will trust and obey God better because we have a better and deeper understanding of the truth that he knows everything. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Pull Up a Seat. If you've not yet subscribed, do that now so you can get content as soon as it comes out. Also, please help us get the word out by sharing on social media and inviting others to pull up a seat. Until next time, grow in your relationship with Jesus and find one way to live intentionally for him. See you next time when we pull up a seat.